Bulgarian, 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 Bolivariana. The supersonic man, Mr. Fahrenheit. I am the supersonic man, Mr. Fahrenheit. I am the supersonic man, Mr. Fahrenheit. YouTube's gotta fix that. That is like the worst thing. Last, love to see it. Last person to ever join my chat has what I love to see. With the hanky panky. Ah, that's so good. So good. Perfect. Hey, good job, TikTok chat. You took up 3 of my screens. Wow, you're so cool. What in God's name did I get a notification for? I shouldn't have gotten a notification for 16 years. I'm not the one and only Radiohead lover. Whoa. Didn't think I see such a goat in my presence. Let's see. All right. Cool. I'm gonna get my PC cleaned for sure. That's like of utmost importance. Like genuinely of utmost importance getting that boy cleaned. I'll probably get it cleaned probably tomorrow actually. It needs to get cleaned bad. It's having like actual issues. Like genuine issues with my PC because it's not cleaned. That's a mess. What's up, BB4444 or B4 to the third? No, B44. I guess it would be BB44 or B2B44. 4 4s. It would just be because you're 4 4. It would just be 4 4s. Essentially, it's 4 4s. Is what it would be. Supersonic man. Entire half gallon of chocolate milk today. That's crazy. It's on 4. Oh, B4. Ah, B4. That's good. That works. That works good, actually. Go ahead and pin the message. Oh, getting old? Yeah. See the gray in my hair? No, you hate to see it. Oh my goodness. Oh, you hate to see it. Oh no. I'm getting so old. I'm 6,000 years old. I'm 6 million. I'm a billion years old. That's good. Chocolate milk goes crazy. Let's see. Apparently, I've made 829 videos. Apparently. I don't trust that, but apparently I've done that. Let's see. I'm going to set a thumbnail for old Jiggle Goggle real fast. You think I'll get sued if I change my name to Mr. Fahrenheit, the Supersonic Man? You think I'll get sued if I do that? If I like just, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Mr. Fahrenheit, the Supersonic Man. You don't look that bad? No, I'm gone in 2 days. That's it for me. The doctor said it's crucial. Said it's critical. That's what he said. I think people judge me because of my eyes because I have really dark circles around my eyes. I think that's mostly because I have horrifying night terrors and I don't get much sleep. But I'm awake for the moment. I'm awake. I just look extremely tired 80% of the day. That's just how I look. So people are always concerned. They're like, "Oh my God, he looks like he's suffering." I am. I am. Frylock Farnsworth. Is that Frylock's last name? Yeah, that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. So today's a little bit different. We are re-attempting Dark Souls 2, but we are not going to actually play Scholar of the First Sin. So I'm going to load the game, and then I'll explain what's going on here. One moment. I'm going to load the game and explain why I'm doing this and why this actually came about today. So it'll make a lot more sense the more I get into this and explain everything. Because I wouldn't go back and play the game. Realistically, I wouldn't do that. I saw you took that. I love you too. I naturally wouldn't go back and play the game, realistically, without some kind of genuine reason behind why I'm doing it. So I will explain why this is coming about today. Let me get my controller up for the TikTok people so they can see what the controller I'm using. Get out of here. I got a water bottle on the way. Hold on. I'm using a PS5 controller, but it's appearing as a PS4 remote. Just going to point that out there. That's what I'm using here. And it moves. You'll see the controls as it goes on. It moves. Okay, so. Why are there so many people in this chat? 64 people? There's no way it's 64. I am from Detroit. Do you know I'm not doing that one? You almost got me. Okay. So, this is important. Good evening and salutations, everybody that has joined on to be a part of this monumentous day. We are playing Dark Souls 2, not Scholar of the First Sin. I have been tasked by somebody that has donated $200 to play this game yet again because they were dissatisfied with everything I said about the game, saying I didn't understand the game and I didn't understand anything about the game and that I'm naturally just bad at the game because I don't understand the mechanics of the game. I then proceeded to tell them I like Dark Souls 2, just not the Scholar of the First Sin. And they said, prove it. I said, give me $200. And then they said, okay. And they did. So I was going to play Pokerogue because I love Pokerogue. But now we are going to play Dark Souls 2, and the entire way through, I'm going to narrate and explain my gripes about the entire game. This will be a video later, and I will actually put in a few anecdotes to explain what my specific gripes about Dark Souls 2, the original version of Dark Souls 2 is. Finding this game was interesting. It was very difficult to actually get the original Dark Souls 2 because everything is updated to the Scholar of the First Sin edition. So we're going to start a new game, new character, get it all good and dandy, and I'm going to go through and explain what I find a little bit disjointed about this one so everybody can understand my thought process. So, right off the bat, just initially when the game first starts up, I don't like the backstory given. Just going to point that out right now. The backstory somehow, for some outrageous reason, feels the need, the absolute dire, disrespectful, insane need to make me a male character. I do play male characters in most of the games that I play, but for some odd reason, they make the main character a male. It doesn't even make it racially ambiguous in any capacity. They show that we had a child and for some reason a wife. They show this entire thing. Obviously, it's our character. I do not grasp it. And for some reason, this cutscene doesn't appear to be made in-house. I'm not a game developer in any capacity. I just feel like the game in totality, this was not made in-house. It feels as though it wasn't made in-house. Outside of that, this is my biggest gripe with the entire game. And I don't know how to describe this in the best way. So I'll probably add an anecdote to explain the movement the best way I possibly can. It joints me in specific directions. It forces me to go into specific directions, and I don't have 360 true control. I will put a clip in here from Dark Souls 1 when I upload this to explain exactly what I mean by that, but I'll explain that later. So, going through here, we are obviously a male model of a character. We are literally a male model. You can take off everything and see that you are a male model of a character. This is obviously a male model. Obviously. There's no way to do that. I am streaming in both modes, horizontal and vertical. There is no genuine reason. It doesn't make any sense why it is that way. In Dark Souls 1, it is not this. You get the character creator beforehand. To get to the character creator for some odd, inexplicable reason, you go here, right here, to these people. These are the Weavers, Fate Weavers, Firekeeper. I'm not sure what they are. I really don't know. My name is Gorm. My name is Gorm. That's my name. Gorm. That's my name. So, because I don't care about this in any capacity, I'm just going to go ahead and get my class. This is going to be a knight playthrough. This is going to be the life ring, and we're going to go here. We're going to get the body all good, get that nice, strong build, get that physique looking crazy, and we're not going to care too much about the face, but we are going to give him these, and then we're going to make those white. That's what we're going to do there. That's about it. That's all we're going to do realistically. That's all I really care about. We're going to finish the creation there. That is my true self, the greatest of all time. Call me for a reason. Don't really care about that. I got a dragon tail on, a heavy iron key, and a frozen flower. Those are things to get inside the DLC. Don't really care about any of that. We're going to go crazy. For some reason, this happens every time I do that. For some reason, it gets stuck on all a lot because I click M. And we're going to go up here. Boom. We're going to grab this human Efigi. And goodness gracious, this is great. So, I think this is a good game. I think overall, this is a good game. I, in no variety, think this is a great game. I'm happy you're running a hex build. I don't think it's a great game at all. I think this is the most decent, put together, consistent game of all time. Do you see that guy over there? If you get inside that coffin, you can actually change your gender if you get inside that coffin. You can actually just change your gender if you do that. Now, because this is very important. In the Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, right here was you needed a fragrant branch of yore to get through to here to get to that big, gigantic enemy back there. There's a big, gigantic enemy back here. I'm going to kick this down. I'm going to get hit by this arrow real fast. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm pretty good at the game. And the damage numbers are incredibly smaller in this one, too. I don't know what that's about. But I'm going to go down here. Boom. Get hit right there. Take him out. Go crazy. I'm going to go up here. Now, the most important thing, I know Efigi, I said it wrong. I know what's going on. The most important thing for me is give my girlfriend the controller. She is busy watching Teen Wolf. So, this is doable. This is easy. I could go down here and actively fight this guy. This is pretty simple. Now, people complain about the rolling mechanics, and I do agree. I think people do not understand the true rolling mechanics of the game. There are two of these guys down here. Now, I am going to get hit by this grab attack, and I'm going to die. That's the game right there. I think this is fair and easy and simple. I think that's nice. This is actually pretty okay game design because, let me explain why I like that so much. This is very important. The reason I enjoy the game design of that part right there is to show that if you actually pay attention to the entirety of everything, there's also an issue. I have an issue with how slow you open the doors. In Dark Souls 2 was way fast. In Dark Souls 1 was way faster. If you pay attention, you can actually go right here, over here. Oh, I apologize. You can go right over here. Is it here? No. So it's across the bridge. You can go right over here and actually prepare for that fight. Thank you very much. You love my hair. You can actually prepare for the fight against them. You can prepare it right here because there's one right here. You can prepare. So I'm going to beat this one because you have the ability to prepare beforehand. You can actually fight this one. This one's significantly doable. And this goes to show, and this should have been done in the Scholar of First Sin. Notice how this one-on-one fight is a pretty okay encounter. You can figure out how to fight the creature. You can figure out its moveset, and it's not overwhelming. It's not claustrophobic. Very interesting boss battle design right here. Very interesting battle you have right here. And it feels great. It feels good. You can practice fighting, though, right there. You can practice fighting. My name is not Jovan. My name is Setos. You can practice fighting. Practice fighting them right there. You can do that. That's very important. I'm not going to beat that creature. I'm not even going to go back and fight that because my role is messy. To get your role better, you level up adaptability, right? You can, meet me before. I've never been on Meet Me in my entire life. This is very important. So, right now, as you can see, my health is going down. I don't mind the health down mechanic. I think it encourages you to get actively better. I think that is an interesting mechanic to do so. Do I think it's smart for new players to have this mechanic in there? No, I don't. I don't think it's smart at all to have that in any capacity. I think it's damaging. I think it's mentally draining to have that. I think it's horrifying. This is a Majula. This looks beautiful. I think this is a lovely hub area. I think it's the greatest of all time. Now, if you were coming down to Majula, right? This is called bad level design. If I were coming down to Majula and I see where I need to go, I see this open area, and this is the thing with level designers. When you design a level designers like to make it very obvious where you need to go. So obviously she's looking out. She looks pretty obvious. It's pretty okay. Are you the next monarch? Pawn of Fate. She's giving me 2 options. She gives me the flask. That's cool. So now I'm going to explore Majula a little bit. I'm going to hit this bonfire and explore Majula a little bit. That's what I'm going to do. Hit the bonfire. I don't need to rest. I'm going to explore Majula a little bit. We see that he's locked out. We can talk to him and figure out he needs to get inside of his blacksmithing shop. We can go over here and see this. Now, if I were exploring Majula just to see around and discovering what everything is here, I would naturally go down here. This is where I'd go. That's naturally where I'd go. That would be my first thought to go anywhere in the game. I would naturally go down there after doing my fun little exploration about the entire game. That is the entire process. However, this is also very important. Over there to the right is 100% not the first area you need to go. Not even a little bit. This hole seems interesting. It seems like it's going to be useful later. I will go down through here and I would get disgustingly angry because this is not the correct area. However, I can clear this entire thing. I'm not Canadian and this is Dark Souls 2. I could clear this entire area. I could clear everything. I could go through here, see. All right, okay, yes, makes sense. There's a branching path. Okay, I imagine I got to go through here. And I'm using the thought process of somebody that would be going through here first time. All right, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Oh, a winding down stairway. Okay, this is a little bit different. Okay, all right, I guess they're going for a longer staircase little area. Oh, cool. A chest. This chest must be important and useful is what I would think. That'd be my thought process. Oh, a Crimson Parma. All right, cool. I guess I'll equip that. Okay, now I have a shield. That's pretty good. All right. Okay. Obviously a lever here. All right. Yeah, this must be the correct way. This is what's going on. All right. I get it. All right. Make you the Gaijin. You are the Gaijin. All right. So this just makes sense to me. All right. This just makes sense to me. Okay. That's good. Okay. Oh, wait. I was like, I'll cross there. I might as well pick that up. Hold up a second. How do I get over there? Oh, a little stairway. Oh, this makes sense. All right. This is good. Boom. I jump over. This is good. All right. Yeah. Oh, the light up, the candle way. This is amazing. Oh, this. Oh, I'm going to see the first area. I'm going to see the first area. And it's this. Heide's Tower of Flame. So in the Scholar First Edition, there's a knight here, the Heide Knight, whatever. And this area, there's just these guys kind of scattered about, which is interesting. So I go here, I hit this bonfire. Over there is the not optional boss, Dragon Rider. However, in the Scholar of the First Sin Edition, what happens is that there's a big, gigantic dragon that, for some odd reason, they think is a smart move to put there. So I get this. Okay, Soul of a Nameless Soul, Human Effigy. Boom, we're going crazy. That's fine. All right, okay, enemy right there. Boom, that's good. Now, I want you to notice something here. Notice how they're not following me that fast or that aggressive, and that guy didn't get aggroed? Yeah, that's an important thing. In Scholar of the First Sin, I don't know why, the aggro range of enemies is so much more. I do not grasp it. I do not get why they are more aggressive. They are significantly more aggressive. Now I'm going to beat this boss low up with that ability so I can get a better roll. That is what I'm going to do. You are not fighting. I am going to fight in this game. I promise you I am. I promise you. I promise you. It's not a hard mode. It's artificial difficulty is what it is. It's not a hard mode. It's not a hard mode. Considering that game a hard mode is disrespectful to Dark Souls in its totality. It's very disrespectful to Dark Souls. Boom. That's done. Yay, we got it done. Haha. He's done. So, that one's done in there. Now we got a Dragon Rider soul. We got a fair amount of souls. We can level up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to level up a little bit. That's going to be important. That's going to be very, very, very important. So, to level up in this game, you have to go back to the original bonfire. Going back to the original bonfire is very important. Right here, boom. And talk to Majula lady. All right, now then. If you don't like talking to people, you're not going to be able to figure out how to level up. Because by all means, you got to speak to people. You are forced to interact with the story in its totality. You're forced to. It's very important. Not gonna thug shake. So don't have any Estus shards. Gonna level up here. Now the most important stat, besides my 10 in deck, because I need that, is adaptability. You need to get your agility to about 99, around that range, in order to get to a decent roll in this game. That's what matters the most. So this is very important. After I do that, I could go back there and fight the old Dragon Rider. I could fight him. I could have a disgusting battle. That was amazing. That is amazing. That is going to be great. That's going to be fun. I'm not going to explain what I'm doing right now, friend. I already explained in the beginning. So, no thug shake. So, we go through here. This is where you're supposed to go. This is the initial first area. This is the actual first area. Now, if I were playing the game regularly, I would have gone through that entire area, and actively been taken aback. The original, to me, is the better version. The Scholar First Sin Edition increases the enemy aggro by a wide scale for some disgusting, silly, unnecessary reason. I don't grasp it. I really don't understand it. I don't get it. So, now here's what I'm going to do. This is actually very important. Something you can't do in Scholar of the First Sin is a walk around. You cannot walk past the enemies. I do not know why that is. I don't know why they thought it was smart to increase it to where you couldn't walk past them. I don't grasp it. Thank you very much, Demon. So, in the original, in Scholar First Sin, there's a big giant ogre there. It's not here. This guy's going to chase me down. And this guy's going to chase me down. That's cool. Now, this is super important. I'm going to hit this bonfire. I think this is a good mechanic, by the way. This is a great mechanic to hit it and not be able to do it. You actually have the bonfire now as soon as you light it. Now, see these guys chasing me down? I want to see how long they chase me down for. We'll see how long they go. I'm holding the run button. You can see at the top right, I'm holding the run button. You can see it. You can see it. This game is so unresponsive. It's so strange. Anyways. So. Boom. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Now I want you to notice something here. This is very important. This might be the most important thing. Where are the rest of the enemies? Where are they at? Climbing up very slowly, not as aggressively. Some of them didn't even come up. Why is that? Because the aggro range is turned down tremendously. The aggro range is insanely less. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Now then, why is this Heide Knight here? This is interesting. This is a Heide Knight. He is in the wrong area. The reason he's here is because he's drifted from the Heide's Tower of Flame. He's gone aloof. He's gone to explore. Now then, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to beat this guy. I'm going to go back and beat this guy. So, let me explain what's important about this. Note how I didn't get overwhelmed by a bunch of enemies, right? No, this game is not hard. This game is not, I want to point this out. This game is not hard. Scholar of First Sin is artificially difficult. Scholar of First Sin is artificially difficult. This game, this is the original Dark Souls 2. This one is not ridiculous. This is a very reasonable game. This game is disgustingly reasonable. This game may be one of the most reasonable experiences I've had in a Souls game in my life. For the most part. Scholar of the First Sin is not. Ooh. However, the attack animations, the slowness of the game, the way the game feels to move around, it's very clunky. It's extremely clunky. Might be the clunkiest game I've ever experienced. Now then, for some reason too, in the Scholar First Sin Edition, if you trigger one Heide Knight in Heide's Tower of Flame, all of them trigger. Don't know why that is. I have no clue why that is. Come on. Come on. Thank you. Come on, brother. Come on. He has incredibly good poise. That is outstanding. He's not going to do the third strike because he's not an idiot. Now, what I love about this encounter is that you get a significantly better weapon if you take him out. You get the Heide Sword. This one. The Heide Knight Sword is impressive because it comes with built-in thunder. That's why. That's why. That's why. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. That's the amazing part. I despise Scholar of the First Sin for not giving me this weapon in the initial beginning. This one has thunder. I like the thunder. It makes me feel fun. It makes me feel powerful. And it's a good early weapon reward that you get. It shows that if you do something hard and get off the beaten path, you deserve to be rewarded. Now, very importantly, I remember very specifically, and I'll probably put in a clip later to show, there were boxes here. I do not know why there were boxes here last time. But as you can see, I'm not getting overwhelmed and ganked by anything, right? I'm playing the original Dark Souls 2 to show the differences. So this is significantly more doable and manageable. You see how I'm basically running past and not getting overwhelmed by hundreds of enemies? And it is not making me want to rip my hair out? And I'm going to show you how slow this is. 1, 2. See how slow that was? In Dark Souls 1, it takes 2 seconds to open basically any door. This is incredibly designed. The design is amazing to have this. So, now then. This lady sells Pharaoh's Lockstones, the key to Leningrad's place, and a bunch of these. Very important. Very, 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 very important. I might even get that Pharaoh's Lockstone because I'll need that later. So that's good. She's going to go to the place later. I'm probably going to get some stuff from her. She's cool. Talk to her. She's cool. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't equip the life ring. Just realized I didn't. I have the life ring. So, what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to use a soul. I'm going to equip my Estus flask, and then I'm going to use a soul. Didn't really need to equip the Estus considering I have life gems. Life gems are pretty... I feel like they're important. Now then, I'm going to use a bit more souls here in order to get this and a Pharaoh's Lockstone. And I'm going to buy a effigy. Sorry, effigy. I want to get that I want to get that correct. All right. She's going to move after I beat the last giant. Now I'm going to go whoop the last giant like the coward he is. I'm going to light this bonfire and beat up. Oh, I got you. So, this is also important here. As you are perfectly fine, I apologize. It's okay. So, as I go down here. Now, I'm going down here. I'm going to run past every single enemy and see if I can make it to the last boss. I'm just going to run past every enemy and see if I can make it. It's going to run past them all. See what happens. See how it feels to run past everybody. Going to run past this one. Boom. Go crazy on him. Going to run past this guy. I'm going to fight the pursuer, actually. I'm going to fight the pursuer. I need to take out these enemies, actually. I'm not going to run past them. That was me being stupid. You see how I got that thunder on it? That's so good, isn't it? So, the pursuer pops up here if you explore. And you get a little bit of a bonus advantage here. I'm going to die right here. Ooh, actually, I'm not. That's pretty good. This is me not managing my enemies correctly, right? This is me reasonably not managing my enemies correctly. I am going to stand right here and let this guy use this for me. Go ahead. Ooh, I messed up. That was supposed to blow up. I messed up. So, here's what I'm going to do. Come on. Come on. I mean, why you had to end early 2 days ago? No, I can't. Now then. Gonna hit him. Gonna get this guy off because the pursuer's gonna come. I consider the pursuer fight to be a beautiful dance. This is a beautiful dance. There's not much differences between this one and the Scholar of the First Sin edition. Pretty much similar and easy. Same way it goes through. Not really that big of an issue. Not really that big of a difference. Still the same fight, essentially. Come on, hit me. There we go. This is a beautiful dance to me. Side strafing is very important with this fight. As you can side strafe that way, you don't even need to roll. You don't even need to roll. You don't even need to roll if you figure that out. Come on. And he goes, boom. That's a little dance right there. Oh, we're having a fun time. We're having a mesmerizing battle. This is a battle between knights right here. This is good. Didn't suspect that. Actually, I've never seen that move. That caught me off guard. That's what I like to see. I like that the guy's trying to get into the arena, but he can't because he's too scared. You can feel it in his boots. Also, the game glitched out for some reason. He's actually genuinely stuck there. 2, and then down strike. And then we boom, Boom, two-piece him. I'm out of stamina right now. Now, as you notice in this game, for some reason, the less stamina I have, the less damage I do. That is a horrible mechanic. I think that is dumb. The trade-off for attacking is the loss of stamina. It shows that if you truly utilize your entire stamina, no, I did 227 right there. That was 227. However, see how I'm doing 227? If I attack with low stamina, I'll do 209, as you saw earlier. For some odd reason, the game calculates damage in this strange way. I do not grasp that. Obviously, you saw how I did a full combo of 4 hit, and it did significantly less damage than 227 plus 227. It should have done about 554. It did not do 554 because this game calculates damage based on your stamina for some odd, inexplainable reason. Even then, when I had less stamina, it did 217. That did 227. That's an insane mechanic. That is a horrible mechanic to have. That's dumb. I don't like that. And I get the Soul of the Pursuer in the Ring of Blaze. This circumvents the later boss of fighting him later. You don't actually have to fight that boss now. So now we got that out of the way. We're all good there. Boom. And then he does that. Boom. That's great. That's amazing. That's how it happens. I don't know, and I do not grasp. I cannot understand why they decided to do that. I do not know why they decided to calculate damage this way. Now, if you notice, there's nobody here besides this big turtle guy. The big turtle guy is a very important enemy. This should be the first encounter. He is known as an arbiter blocker. He is a blocker. He's supposed to block. That is important. I do not know why they do that. I spent too much time figuring this game out. Why did I do that? Because everybody keeps telling me this game is pro. It's an amazing game. It's so perfect. It's outstanding. No, they made so many weird design decisions that I cannot possibly understand why you just decide to make this game animation so slow. I cannot get it. I don't understand it. Strength is very essential for damage, but they will reduce your strength in the game for some odd, inexplainable reason that I can't fathom. I really can't grasp it if you have less stamina. I do not get it. I don't understand it. I wish I did. I wish I did. Notice how I can just walk to this boss despite the fact there was an enemy right there because his aggro range isn't 6,000 feet. He's going to come in after the boss. I don't like this red tent around I don't know why they do that with the bosses. That feels strange. So, this boss is a cakewalk. It's always easy. Always an easy boss. Just always a childlike boss. This is not a hard boss. This is supposed to teach you in the game. It's also supposed to teach you that the camera lock-on feature is stupid. It's a dumb mechanic. That's what it's supposed to teach you. I feel like if they increased the field of vision in this game, if they made it wider, this game would be significantly better if they did that. I feel like if they did that. Notice my roll is significantly better. Well, that's because I increased my adaptability stat. That's an important aspect in the game they don't tell you about, because what they don't tell you is that adaptability actually also affects how fast you drink your Estus. I didn't know that. No one told me that. I had to figure that out by myself. That was stupid. Don't know why they didn't tell you that your adaptability actually increases your speed of the Estus. Notice how I'm not locking on, because it's simpler to move around that way. Despite the fact that I get snapped in directions, it's easier to move around that way. And I still think the controls are disgustingly clunky. I still believe that. I still genuinely believe that. I do not know. I don't care that Miyazaki was hands off with this. It still has the title of a Souls game. If you are using the title of a Souls game, I am not going to do that. Yes, they're set to stunned. It's as if you're supposed to get stun locked. I think that was a fun fight. I think that was a great fight. I'm happy about that. That was what happened. I think that was a great introduction to the game. That should be your introduction to the game. I have now defeated 3 bosses. Out of the 3 bosses, 2 of them have been armored enemies that are humanoid. I don't have an issue with armored humanoid enemies like everybody else. The agility stat description tells you. So it's very vague. I've never seen vagueness conveyed in this capacity. So this HP, overall stamina, determines your maximum equip load. The boost spell casting speed, also boosts attack. Dexterity, also boosts attack. This raises various attributes to ensures one survive. Boosts agility and various resistances. Now, what does agility do actually? What does that do? Agility boosts ease of evasion and other actions. What other action? You could have said flask and the other. You had space. You could have explained it. You could have done that. Would have been great. Would have been great. Don't know why they didn't decide to explain that. So now she'll move to Majula, and I'll have infinite ability to buy life gems. That is very important. Very clear. I know. I know you know. You said that in the thing. I know you know. This is important. Now she's here. This is great. It shows that you should interact with the NPCs. It shows that you should be rewarded for interacting with the NPCs. Now you have the ability to buy a crazy amount of life gems. This is great. I'm happy I have this ability. That's cool. I love that. I'm going to get a few life gems and then I'm going to talk to her and level up. Now, by this point, does anybody have any clue what level I am? 23. That's good. Pay attention to that. In my original Dark Souls 1 playthrough, I made it to level 65 and then beat the game. The power curve in this game for how it operates is so odd. I have no other way to describe it other than strange. It is a strange power curve. So now, boom, I got it. That's good for me. I feel amazing that way. So, what I'm going to do is something a little bit unconventional. I'm going to go fight the old dragon rider after I get this guy inside of his house by using Leningrass key. Boom. He should be back inside of his house. He's going to be excited. Oh, you opened it. Now you can go to work. Come see me later. We're great. I'm going to sit down and hopefully he just goes back to his house. Hopefully he realizes I reset the area. Flask? I barely use Flask. Flask is important, yeah, but the animation is slow and you can just buy 3 different kinds of life gems to have 297 different ways of healing. So, yeah, that's what's happening. So, that's upsetting to me. That's very upsetting. The Sentinels boss is pretty good. So, we're going to buy some items. We're going to get a few Titanite shards here. I'm going to buy this one. And we're going to level up our Heide sword real fast. Give me 1 second while I upgrade our Heide sword. I also think this sword is very, very small. That will make sense later when I get a ultra great sword, but I think it's small. I think it's very, very small. Very small weapon. I don't use the weapon souls for anything more important than anything just having them, so I don't care about them that much. So I'm going to reinforce this weapon. I'm going to get this. This relies on Titanite shards. I could use a broadsword, which is stronger. It is significantly stronger. I just like having thunder because it feels cooler. And also this has faith scaling for my thunder, and it has a C rating for dexterity, which is kind of fun. I just think it's fun. So I'm going to focus on getting that weapon upgraded more so than anything. I could get an S-Stock. S-Stock is also a very good weapon to have early on in the game. It's very good for distancing. You could get a Falchion, which has bleed, but you should not get those weapons because they are scale. They're good later, but I don't like them for early game. You shouldn't get them because I wouldn't get them. Is how I'd say that. So I'm gonna get this and then this. Now I need large Titanite shards. So should I just neglect the broadsword? No, you shouldn't neglect the broadsword. You should get the broadsword up too. We'll get that up later. Now, the only way we're going to be able to buy Titanite shards later is by finding his daughter, so that's what's going to go on. That's what's going to happen. Now, this is insane. There is a lot of garbage in the game. Like this guy. I hate him. I'm going to take him out. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Why did I take him out? For his set. His set entirety boosts souls. Now, should you have kept him alive? Maybe. Anyways, I want more souls. I don't care about that guy. He deserves nothing in his lifetime. You can use multiple gems in a row to heal faster. You can do that. That's also very important. Now, I have the ability to get more souls. I have a pretty okay, decent starting weapon. I have thunder on my weapon. I'm going to go through and get a little bit crazy with it. Now, the next step I'm going to do is get the mechanism to turn this by destroying the lady over here and defeating the old Dragon Slayer. Old Dragon Slayer is very important. This is also a very sad design flaw in Dark Souls 1. Fighting the old Dragon Slayer 101 really shows how much he sucked without Smo. Having him just be separated into his own little area, it feels insane. He does turn to a little bit of a weirdo. Gonna do with the large buster blade. Oh, the fake moon sword. I like having him later. He feels okay. He has a fake moonlight greatsword is what he has. The fake moonlight greatsword is a very important fact of that variety. So, back in this area where some people got confused about, where they thought it was the beginning, people got confused in Dark Souls 1 as well. They thought that the skeleton graveyard where you fought and ended up going towards Nito was also the beginning area too. So I want to get that one as well. Yes, I don't know if it affects iframes when opening doors. You don't get any iframes when opening doors. You get none. From as far as I can tell, you get 0 iframes when opening doors. That's as far as I know. I have played Elden Ring to completion. I do have tips for Elden Ring. I will probably do a video about that later or a stream about Elden Ring. I'm preparing for Night Rain right now, so I'm more focused on that at the current moment. I do apologize. So, in the previous version, well, more so the after version, Skylar the First Sin, the previous time I played this, I was just stuck because of a gigantic, ridiculous dragon that appeared here. I do not know why there was a ridiculous dragon. It didn't make any sense. Do I feel like I should have fought the dragon? Yes. So I tried to fight the dragon, and I had to, for some odd, inexplainable reason, fight the dragon in the most archaic and brutish sense ever. Notice how I only had to fight one of these guys, and they're giving me enough time to actually trigger this. Boom. I only had to fight that one. That was super simple. To get this other way, you have to fight a in-game level boss. In-game level boss in order to get to this right here. I do not know why. People that love this game deeply often say, oh, you're mad you can't abuse iframes. That's stupid. It's goofy. Well, that's my bad. I saw that. I thought he was jumping for some reason. I'm so used to Artorias for some odd reason. My bad. Hold on. He's gonna butt drop. Perfect. Alright, that gives me enough time to drink my juice. I drank my juice. Go crazy on me. I was thinking of that one. That's what I was thinking of. The jump one. So this boss is disgustingly easy. It is a disgustingly easy encounter. And I have more iframes because I leveled up adaptability. Now I have about a Dark Souls 1 roll, which is amazing. But people give up initially because they can't get this roll because when they start playing the game. And people aren't used to adjusting when they are used to something before. And that adjustment period, it takes a second to get adjusted. And I will give Dark Souls 2 credit for separating stats, giving you allow more customization with your stats. I think that's a great mechanic. I think that's fun. I don't think, however, allow the arbitrary changes to the way the battle system mechanics work is good. I think that's silly. I think that's psychotic. I think it's dumb. I truly do. Now, you can see his moveset is very simple and basic because he doesn't have a second aspect to him. If he had a second aspect, such as Smo, this would be significantly more difficult. This is the exact same moveset he had in the original game. Finding him one-on-one is significantly easier because his moveset kind of sucks garbage. It's not that good. We got a crazy amount of souls from that. That's amazing. We're doing great so far. I'm not going to talk to this guy because I have no interest in leveling up Fate. The adaptability gives more iframes. So, boom. High tower shield, that's amazing. It is viable and introduced. Dark Souls 2 is not the first time magic is viable. In Dark Souls 1, I could do an entire playthrough of Dark Souls 1 just magic, nothing else, with minimal effort. Dark Souls 1 magic is incredibly busted. I think I one-shotted Sif, the scale, no, not Sif, the scale, Sif. I one-shotted Sif with just magic. It is an incredibly busted mechanic. I do not, I'm just going to keep it a beam with you. Keep it a stack and 100,000 with you. Dark Souls 2 magic is good, but it is nothing compared to Dark Souls 1 magic. Magic in Dark Souls 1 is incredibly disgustingly beyond busted and repair. It is insane. That is what I feel. I feel like he doesn't give up in any capacity until we come and destroy him. That's how I feel. The headcanon of how I operate there. I do appreciate Dark Souls 2 Scholar Person for putting High Knights in the High Tower of Flames a little bit, but then I thought about it, and I prefer to find them more in the open world because it feels as though those are the Black Knight enemies. That's what it feels like. That's just what it feels like. It feels like a fun little side reward and honorable battle between a one-on-one battle. That's when a lot was introduced and was made fun viable for a casual. I don't know. I'd say casual. When my wife played the game, she chose magic and completely wrecked shop with the game. She had no issues. She didn't have to get close to anybody. So yeah, there were so many there. True. I'm gonna take her out. My bad. I mishit her.
Please stop this.
She's incredibly tough. Gotta figure this out here.
I've no choice now.
Yeah, she's tough. She's tough. She's strong. I'm taking her out for a good reason. Simply because She's a scam artist. Ooh, this miracle bill is crazy. She is a scam artist. Alright, we got her down. That's 3,000 free souls. We'll come back for her. She knows a lot of garbage. She is insane. Elden Ring magic couldn't run, in my opinion. I feel as though Dark Souls 3 did more magic built for it. I feel like people accredit a lot of systems in Dark Souls 2, but so much was not taken from Dark Souls 2 that I feel like Dark Souls 3 would have naturally reached the conclusion that Dark Souls 2 reached without the advent of Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 3 would have reached it realistically without Dark Souls 2. There are mechanics that I do wish they had, such as breakable doors. That will be amazing. And there are a few things in Dark Souls 2 that feels great. But I feel like they would have naturally reached the natural conclusion of the game without the advent of Dark Souls 2. We're going to level up a bit more. I want you to pay attention to my levels real fast and see where I'm at. I'm at 34 now. I'm at 34. I've barely done a lot in the game realistically besides get adaptability up, my agility. That's basically what I've done, getting my strength up, going for a more of a quality build, and we're going there, getting more of my strength up and my dex because I am going for ultimately a great sword overall, same as that guy, basically looking like him, essentially right there. I'll be looking the same way as him. So, now then, where do we head next? So, there's a lot of ways you can head next. There's a lot of over-branching arching paths. I could go back to the Forest of Lost Giants, do the Rune Sentinels fight, get that out the way really fast. That'd be super quick, super efficient, and super simple. I'd get McDuff, and that's the ability I can get to get my large Titanite shards upgraded. But most people don't know this. That lady would appear here and try to scam you. You can just switch this now because you took her out and took the thing from her. She is a scam artist. Scam artist. Don't like her at all. I do wish they had Simpleton Spice in other games. Simpleton Spice does get things lowered in requirements for using them with spells. Do appreciate that. I do love that. So this is just a little tip about Dark Souls 2. If you didn't know, you did not have to do a lot of things there. This is a quick and easy way to get here early. You gotta take her out. I usually vie for getting her off that way. She has a lot of health, so that's how I operate there. I do think durability is a bad mechanic. There's no justification in my soul or mind that could possibly justify durability in any way. I do appreciate this area, and I like him a lot. I believe he'll talk to me now that I am pretty good. I think I have some dark on me. I do need some dark on me. I need some dark in some capacities. This gets you to Huntsman's Copes. This is important for later. If you look at the order of operations, this actually tells you how you're supposed to progress through the game. I think that is an amazing mechanic. I think that's fun. I like it. I think it's great. He is I believe he's the Hex guy. I'm not sure if you speak to him to get through Dark Lurker. I do not recall. But we will not be doing Dark Lurker. We are simply just getting through the game in an efficient and simple way. That is how we're going way through. So, notice how I can run past all these enemies. Some people say this is horrible that you can run past these people. Let me run back. I actually messed up. Hey, guys. Hey. How's it hanging? Some people say it's a bad mechanic, you can run past them. I say, shut up. I do not know why people think that running past enemies is a bad mechanic. I don't grasp that. I hear a lot of Dark Souls 2 Scholar First and defenders adamantly say, oh, you can run past them. You don't like fighting enemies. I don't like wasting my time completely. And I know you don't like wasting your time either because in the same breath that they defend not running past enemies, they also defend the aspect of teleporting. You can teleport between bonfires. Yeah. You care about convenience and quality of life. Even after a minute, look at that. Look at them. They run back. They run back. They run back. Ah, it's so goofy. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make a lick of sense in any capacity. I just don't grasp it. I wish I did. I wish I could understand the mindset. I really wish I did understand the mindset behind it. I don't. These guys got good frames on them. Good frames on them. Good job. I don't mind the attack animations or anything of the other enemies. I don't. People say that the enemies in Dark Souls 2 Scholar First Sin have different animations overall. I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak to that because I haven't observed them that deeply, but I don't think they do. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think they do. I think they're just more aggressive. The only difference I notice is that they are significantly more aggressive in the Scholar of the First Sin edition. That's the only thing I notice is that they follow you for a lot longer and they make you feel like garbage is what I discovered overall. That's basically what I surmised and picked up. So my biggest goal today, by the end of the stream, I want to get to Shrine of Amana. Shrine of Amana is the most important area for me because the reason I gave up playing Scholar of the First Sin was specifically because of Shrine of Amana. And I remember playing Shrine of Amana when I was younger in this game and telling myself, "Oh, people complain about this. This was really easy." And by all means, it is disgustingly easy in the original Dark Souls 2 version. However, it is not easy at all in every other version of the game. As in, it is not in no way, shape, or form easy. This is originally where you'd fight the Pursuer. Had you not fought him earlier, you can use this Ballista right here to take him out very easily, but then they expect you to figure all these things out. These will be very important later for the memories of the giants when we get through and go to the King Vendrick area. So I'm going to sit here. This is a callback to Dark Souls 1, sitting there acting like an egg, blah, blah, blah. That's how it operates. Yeah, the Shrine of Amana is really bad. I think it's disgustingly bad. It is a horrible, evil, disgusting, vitriolic area. We are now at the Lost Bastille. This area is not bad at all. I have genuinely no complaints about it. I love it a lot. I love the way everything is designed in here. I love the way the flow of this area goes. I like the crumbled areas. I think it's fun. The only thing that messes me up is that in the Scholar of the First Sin edition, when I was playing this game, and I think about this a lot, for some odd, inexplainable, undescribable reason, there are so many royal guardsmen that I can't breathe. I don't get it. This game looks beautiful. I think the game looks outstanding. I think the beauty of this game is completely understated. I have no complaints about the visual design of the game. I have an issue with the cohesion of how the game looks overall. It doesn't look cohesive. Yep, that was good for you. I forgot there were dogs here. I don't know why I forgot there were dogs here. That's strange. Well, at least in the Scholar First Sin, there's no dogs there. That's interesting. Don't have an issue with the dogs. If the game cared about you fighting a bunch of enemies, it wouldn't make the enemies disappear afterwards. You know what's crazy? I assumed that would work. Usually you can blow up the entire area and get to McDuff that way. Boom, get out of here. You get to McDust by blowing that up. But, that didn't really work, did it? Didn't really work at all. Go ahead and just hit this. Oh, that didn't work either. Wow, yeah, I hate to see it. No issues with dogs here. Well, I guess I don't have a bonfire now. Locking a bonfire behind that mechanic is probably an issue I have. That's actually an issue I do have. That's insane. Oh yeah, I imagine you got jumped right around here, this area, because for some reason, and I don't know why, there should be some royal guardsmen here, and for some reason you need a fragrant branch of yore to get past to here. I do not grasp this. This is my hair. I do not grasp why they need a fragrant branch of yore to get past here. I don't grasp it. I really don't. As you can see, there's a bunch of enemies here. And you would think I'd be overwhelmed by all these enemies. But notice how I'm not getting overwhelmed. Notice that. I want you to notice how I'm not getting completely overwhelmed right here. Strange, isn't it? Strange how I'm not getting overwhelmed. Well, guess what? That's because for some reason in Scholar First Sin Edition, they triggered everybody. I don't know why. They triggered like 37,000 people in this area. Do I know why? No. Do I think it's good? No. Do I understand it? No. I don't. And I never will. I genuinely never will. Is the only area in this version that is harder, but that is the end game? Yeah, in the end game. It's the end of the game. It's the end of the game. The whole game, it feels consistently hard in Scholar of the First Sin Edition. Whole game feels like it's just built to destroy you and make you feel like garbage. Don't know why that is. Really can't figure out a reason for that. Really can't figure out a reason for that. I wish I could. I wish I could tell you. I have played Bloodborne. Bloodborne is, I think, one of my favorites. I love the mechanics of Bloodborne more than I love most other games. Very fast-paced. Feels really prepared me for Sekiro, I'll tell you that much. Ooh, got me off guard. So, you see how I rolled and still got hit? I think about that a lot. I think about, even with the roll and the iframes, I still get hit by certain, like, back attacks. I have seen the wonderfully weird thing of Gumball, yeah. It is upside down. It is very upside down. That's a great way to phrase it. It is upside down. The difficulty curve is upside down. Well, that's good. They're trying to lead me into an area, but I don't care about that. I'm trying to run, but it doesn't let me. I don't know why that is. It's such a odd little way the thing, but you can see my controls being moved. You can see how I'm moving my hands. This is why I like the thunder. It just feels better. I don't mind the Rune Sentinels fight. I like how you can fight him on this small platform to prepare you for later. It feels fun. This is good. This is good battle design, I think. I like how it gradually increases on you too. They don't move until the others get annihilated and destroyed. That feels great. I like that. Not a bad fight. Come on. Whoop. Oh, stressful. Alright, now then. Naturally, I should start moving down. But I like to let the first one come up here and me get a few hits on him. And then I can go through. This game wasn't built to use one weapon to fight multiple enemies. As you can see, my weapon is about to be deteriorated because I am not using it efficiently. We're going to go ahead and move out the way because here he comes. Boom. Go ahead. Boom. And then you get a bigger area to fight two of them. Oh, that is an amazing design. That's great. I think that's good. That's good boss design. I like that. Ruin Sentinels, not that bad. Ruin Sentinels become regular enemies later. I love when a regular enemy becomes, when a boss becomes a regular enemy later, because it shows your progressive power throughout the game. So, this is where the biggest complaint comes in. I think this is a good and a bad reason for having the health scaling. So, when it comes to health scaling, and how it goes down is much better than Dark Souls 1 in every way. You are a psychopath, and that is okay to be wrong. Now then, what is over here? Am I stupid? I am stupid. And your opinion is vehemently incorrect, and that is fine. That is okay. I will say this, though. The first half of Dark Souls, before Ornstein and Smo, is my favorite game ever. Play this game? I've beaten Dark Souls 2 42 times. I have never once beaten Skylo the first sin because the game is fundamentally broken, and I hate that about it. I do not grasp why, when you open a door, they decide to close the door, as if they're very proud of the animation, as if they're incredibly happy about the animation that they've done here. You should not be happy about doing that to the animations. You should be angry for doing that to the animations, actually. You should know it's a mistake. But because the doors reset, which is insane, by the way, to reset the doors, it feels just jostled. You notice how I skipped all the enemies and I didn't get overwhelmed? I want you to notice that. I skipped all these enemies and I am not yet overwhelmed by them. I want you to note that. I want you to note how I skipped all the enemies. You ever had in one? That's fair. If you had more fun in 2 than you had in one, that's fair. I'm not judging your experience. Just saying you're wrong. It's okay. I think this game is fundamentally a broken game. I think it's a fun broken game. I think fun and game design are not the same thing. I think if you have fun with a mechanic, it is different than actively a game being well designed. You can have fun in a very horribly designed game. You can. It's very simple. Like Multiverses. I had fun in Multiverses. The design was horrible, though. I had a lot of fun in Multiverses. The design, garbage. Just complete garbage. Whoop, didn't suspect that. My bad. Should've dodged better. All right, this is insane. Here he comes. There we go. That's good. That's called learning. That's called learning. Something people don't do in most games. Good job, brother. Calculating damage is so important in this game, but it's destroyed by your stamina bar. It's insane. I hate it so much. This game is pure blind nostalgia. That's understandable. That's understandable. I love a game purely because of nostalgia. But I'm going to keep it a being with you. I'm going to keep it a stack in 100,000. I played this game when it first came out. Day one, I played this game because I wanted to play Dark Souls again. And I was woefully disappointed by the design choices and decisions they made when in regards to just the fundamental nature of this game. It felt as if they didn't understand the game. I have never played a game where they do not understand the game. Well, I never played a game where the designers are so tone deaf to everything that made the first one so good actively. Are you the other one? You are the other one, I knew it. Be a lot simpler if I could take out one of them. Gotta focus on you. I'm gonna get hit. That's good. I have no issues with the Ruin Sentinels, essentially. They are not a threat. Not a true threat. I don't consider them to be a horrifying battle. I consider this to be a fair, easy, nice battle. I think Ornstein and Smo. I can't tell if you're hitting them. Oh, the clanking noise? It is strange. I think the sound design in this game is also pretty bad too. I think the sound design is bad. It reminds me of One Piece's sound design. One Piece's sound design is just bad. I just think One Piece, the anime sound design, is horrible. I think Toei could do better with the sound design of One Piece by a wide metric margin. Don't know what they're doing with that. I just don't grasp it. I also don't. I just don't like the stamina decreasing with each hit. That is, well, not the stamina. The attack damage decreasing with the stamina. That feels fundamentally wrong. It feels wrong to punish people for using the stamina. Stamina. Why am I saying stamina? That's incorrect. I know it's wrong. I can hear it in my voice. I think it's fundamentally incorrect to use that. So there's that. That boss was done. Pretty simple, pretty easy affair. Not really that bad. Love to see it. So now we are continuing onward and getting things done with the game in totality. We are pretty good right now. We've gotten fairly far with the game. And that's the Belfry Gargoyles. You can hear them. We could go rush and fight the Belfry Gargoyles right now. That would be also a efficient thing to do currently. You could just go fight the Belfry Gargoyles. So there's that. I think this game is great. I think going back and having a respite and doing stuff like this is outstanding. There is a ring called the Ring of Binding you can find, and you could do that. That is true. Yeah, you could get the Ring of Binding to help that. But I am not going to get the Ring of Binding, so sucks to be me. Now I've gotten more strength, I've gotten more dexterity. That's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get these souls wasted. Ruined Sentinel soul. And I'm going to get rid of the old Dragon Slayer soul. Boom. True. Goat Simulator is a very oddly designed game, but by God, are they fun. That's very true. So I'm going to use these souls to get 63 of these.
Thank you.
And I could get the ring. I could just go grab it. Or or I could suffer like a psychopath. I could do that. There are two very fun options there. I could suffer like a psychopath. That is also a very viable option in this game. Just the aspect of suffering. With lack of stamina when you don't level endurance. Okay. Bucci. I'm going to keep it a beam with you. I have never once complained about the lack of stamina. My complaint is that when I attack with less stamina, I do less attack damage. Did you know that that was a mechanic? Did you know that? Did you know that? That if you attack with no stamina, you do less attack damage. That is not utilizing your stamina bar. The previous comment. Let me see what you said. Let me read, since we have a staunch defender here. Let's see. You said it's not super annoying. A turgid from spamming rules says limb stamina means fewer iframes. That's stupid. It was not in Dark Souls 1. I speedrun Dark Souls 1. That more stamina solved, you know. No. I'm gonna keep it a beam with you? No. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna keep it 100,000 with you? No. I'm gonna keep it a beam? No. I'm not even complaining about it. I'm just explaining how it works. I'm genuinely not even complaining about it. I'm not complaining about the stamina. I'm explaining how the mechanic works. And I think that is a fundamentally broken mechanic. I'm not complaining about it. I think it's broken. I don't think it's bad. I think it's broken. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think it's bad. I think that's part of the charm of Dark Souls 2. That is a broken mechanic. That's what a broken mechanic means. That is what it means. For instance, I just did that. My first 2 hits did about 400. That should have done 800. Instead, I did 784. There's no reason why less stamina should nerf your damage in the game. That is insane. That's psychotic. And no game does that happen. It's adding real life mechanics for no reason. It's adding for no reason. No reason. It lacks consistency overall. It's insane. Wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't know how I know that. The fact you asked me if I even knew the mechanic existed doesn't make a difference. All right, hear me out. All right, I'm gonna explain something very smart, very important to you. This is very important. When I fight an enemy, right? Say I'm in a close quarters encounter, right? I'm in a close quarters encounter, and I have less stamina, and I know that one hit takes out the enemy. I know that one hit takes out the enemy. I know that for a fact, right? I know one hit takes out the enemy. So, if I have less stamina, I'm running from an enemy, I turn around to hit that enemy, and the enemy does not faint because of that one hit. I am now confused about the stats of my character. I don't know the stats of my own character. I rely on residual information, but it's not only stamina that affects it, it is you clipping in the walls and hitting through them. That will reduce my damage. You see that hit right there? That will reduce my damage if it hits somebody because it interacted with something in the environment. There are other factors in the game that affect it that for no reason do it. That is stupid. That is why I hate it. It is dumb to do so. I don't think it is a good mechanic. I think it is a dumb mechanic to do so. That is not good game design. That is ridiculous to punish you for utilizing space. And if they cared, if they cared for 2 seconds about that, they wouldn't have so many overwhelming things. That's ridiculous. I'm putting myself through this because I'm proving that I like Dark Souls 2 more than Scholar of the First Sin, because Scholar of the First Sin is disgusting. I will load Dark Souls 1 right now and show you that it does not exist. I will load the game up right now and show you the fundamental difference between the two games. I will show you. I can prove it. I can show you. I can show you. I can physically show you the game. I can pull up the game. I have it. Download it. I can show you the game. I can literally show you the game. I even have my controller on screen to show you my controls and why I'm upset. I can physically show you. The game isn't bad. I don't think the game is bad. I'm talking with somebody on TikTok, having a regular conversation with somebody on TikTok. Huh, maybe I wasn't ready for the bell freeze. Hold on. I gotta lock in real fast. Also, this fight in general just spits on the belfries for some reason. I don't know what's going on with this fight. Firstly, it feels as though I've always hated this fight. Not in the original, but at least in this one, I've always despised this fight. See, I did 210 as opposed to 213. Stupid mechanic. It's dumb. Because instead of basing it on health, they base it on time. That's dumb. The stewards in other areas will block my Zweihander. I can pull up the game. Tell you what, I'll do something better for you. Let's find a compromise here. The movement, how your character moves, how you move around the game. Do you think it's better in this game or Dark Souls 1? Let's ask that question. Which do you think is more precise? The movement in this game or Dark Souls 1? Which one? I just gotta know. I'm very curious. Stamina in Dark Souls 1. Okay, just a heads up, I never played with a controller, only mouse and keyboard. I played with mouse and keyboard the first time I played this game too. I'm just asking the question. Which movement? The movement, the physical movement. I'm just curious. You can only roll in 4 directions while locked on. I am asking a question. So I think Dark Souls 2 is better. Okay, I cannot take your opinion seriously. I just want to know. I can't take your opinion seriously. I really can't. Because I'm going to show you something after I beat this boss, or lose, whichever one comes first. I'm going to show you something really important. This is very important. This is very important, right? I want you to look at the controller thing that is right there. I want you to look. Do you see how my character snaps into a direction? Right? You are seeing how my character snaps into a direction. I am not truly moving in a circle. I am snapping into direction. I'm aware. I'm aware. These critiques are not unfair. No, I don't need any help. I'm talking on TikTok. He's not trying to antagonize me. No, he's just giving his critiques and his opinions about the game. So, as you can see, I posted an update video about that. As you can see, look at this. Look at that. Do you see that? Do you see how I am snapping into a separate direction? Do you see that? That does not allow for precise control. Yeah, you can, when you're locked on, you can roll in every direction in this game for sure, 100%. But you are snapping. Okay, hear me out. Right? I'm going to loop back. I'm going to exit the game for a second. I'm going to quit the game. Right? I didn't get hacked. Now then, I'm going to load Dark Souls 1. I don't smoke. I'm going to load Dark Souls 1. Haven't played Sparking Zero in 7 months. I'm going to load Dark Souls 1. Observe. Right? Watch this. Just observe for a second. Just watch this. Just watch this for 1 second. 1 second, please, if you would. This is Dark Souls 1. Observe. I'm doing my best. Don't worry, it's not going to take that long. I'm going to click continue. I do have a YouTube, but it stands my TikTok channel. You see how I don't snap into a direction? You see how it's a fluid movement? How I don't snap into a direction? Do you see how I do not snap into a direction? Why is it important that I don't snap into a direction? It's important that I don't snap into a direction because The game requires precise movement because it's claustrophobic. That is why. You can't even do this in Dark Souls 2. You can't even do this in Dark Souls 2 for some odd reason. And look at the door opening animation. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let me close it. Let me open it. Let me close it. Let me open it. Let me close it. This was not an issue. It doesn't make the whole game bad. No, it doesn't make all of Dark Souls 2 bad, but it is a fundamental issue with the entire game. So I'm forced to interact with the entire game with its mechanics. So I'm forced to do that. That is my issue. That's the issue. Feels slow. This sword animation feels slow compared to Dark Souls 2. Let's time this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do the whole thing right quick. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was about 3 seconds. See how fast that is? If you just look at it, if we just look at it, if we just look at the games, if we just, on a fundamental level, we just look at the games, right? I'm talking to everybody. I have 4 chats up right now. I have 4 chats, Twitch, TikTok, all that. So, I'm gonna fight an enemy. You said I can roll in 4 directions? Yeah, 4 directions. I got 4 directions of rolling. Cool. Look at those iframes. Look at that roll. Look at that. Look at those iframes. Look at those iframes. Wow. Look at that roll. Look how fast it is. Look how fluid that looks. Look how fluid that looks. Amazing, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that fluid? Wow. Wow. It is supposed to emphasize the heavy nature of the weapon. You are correct. If I use a dragon tooth, such as this, it's still emphasizing the weight of the weapon. You can feel the weight of the weapon. The sound design even conveys the weight of the weapon. Still got a slow roll there. Look at that. Slow roll. Even a slow roll feels more efficient. Now, let's go back to Dark Souls 2. Let's just look at it. Let's just look at the game. Cloud air, insane. Love to see it. So now I'm pulling up Dark Souls 2. I'm talking to minors? I'm not talking to minors. What are you talking about? Okay. Now then. What are you talking about? Conversation I'm talking about. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? Anyways. This is other Gorm right here. It's just different. It is significantly worse to control them. I am on 4 chats, yeah. It is significantly worse to control them. Now then. You telling me this animation is faster? Is that what you're telling me? You telling me that roll animation is better and more? It's not. It's just it's floaty. It's floaty. It's very floaty. It's an extremely floaty. It's disgustingly floaty. It is insanely floaty. It's such a floaty mechanic that it hurts. It's the most floaty mechanic. You leave it. I just wanted to blindside about rumors, so I thought I'd let you know. Where are you seeing? I mean, what rumors are going on? What's happening? What? What's going on? Hey, what's going on, Bowie? What's going on? I don't, what in comment sections? Who's saying I'm talking to minors? What's going on? What? No, I got, is it describe your dream girl? Someone's in a reply saying that. Describe my dream girl? Someone's in a reply saying that. Oh, my wife's video? What the hell? Hold on, let me go check this out. Let's see, on TikTok? Hold on, someone's saying I'm talking to minors or something. What? Dude, I'm literally asexual. What? I'm literally asexual. I don't even like doing anything. Hold on. Boy, that's so far down. Yeah, you think a guy that is this gay is talking about Dexter who likes minors? It replies to someone asking if you were the guy talking in the vid. Oh. And they go straight to 3 in Elden Ring. That's I got a piece. I got a pit. I got a pee. Oh no. Did I break it again? No, thank God. All right. Okay. I'm a full well. They do not know this. And I mean this man. I don't know. I think I think they're talking about the call out post because somebody said that I was somebody said that I was 23 talking to a 17-year-old. Then they said I was 27 talking to a 17-year-old. And then they said I was 22 talking to a 17-year-old. And I was a little confused. And then they showed this screenshot that's fake. And I know it's fake. I know it's fake because I know the screenshot. I've seen the app to make the screenshot. And I was like, you can tell it's the app too because they don't show the entire thing. I was really appreciative. I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Through late teens, no time. Thank you very much, Zenwiz. I appreciate it. Looking at stuff for spreading it. Nah, people aren't going to do that. People are going to see the first thing and then do that. It was like this whole call-out post about me. It was a whole call-out post about me where they're like, he's a bad person. I said, yeah, I'm a bad person. And literally, I think everything else on the post was talking about stuff that it was like, he ruined my relationship. I gave somebody an eating disorder. I ruined somebody's relationship because I told them to date my friend. And I didn't tell them to break up with my friend because I was defending my friend at the time. I didn't know my friend was that horrible, but I was defending him. So there was that. And then there was oh man, what else was it? Man, it was something else. And I've ruined lives before. I've stolen like catalytic converters in GTA and Grand Theft Auto. I've taken catalytic converters and stuff like that and things of that variety. But I haven't done. There was like this whole big call out post, and they were like trying to cancel me on Facebook, and I was like, oh, okay. It was crazy. They said I was talking to They said I was talking to only trans men, and they said I was a chaser because my partner now is a trans woman. And I said, my partner is not a trans woman. And they said, what? I said, my partner is not a trans woman. And they said, oh, my apologies. I was like, you guys thought my partner was a trans woman? And they thought I was a chaser because of that. So that was interesting. Don't really know how to feel about that. I don't know. They were just making up a bunch of stuff. Apparently, I've done everything bad on the planet. I will admit, though. When I was, oh man, what was it? Hey, Sandy. I did mentally abuse my ex. I'll admit to that. That's what I did. I did do that. That's true. That's 100% a fact. I think that happened. I made a whole video about that, actually. I think I was, 16? I was 12 years ago. I'm 28 now. 12 years ago, 100%. No, it was okay. It was like 12 years ago that happened. Is that people are talking? Oh, that's good for them. Yeah, it's good for them talking. I don't know. So there's that. That was a whole thing. My stats? I got you. I'll show you my stats. Well, 55. 30 strength. People are talking. Well, good for them for talking, I guess. I really don't know what's going on there. I mean, if they want to cancel me, they're going to have to do a lot more work, I guess. Oh, it's definitely going to turn into a thing maybe when I get bigger. They're going to be like, he was talking to a 17-year-old. I'm going to be like, I can prove these messages are fake if you want. Be fine by me. Be fine. I think the worst I've done when I was 22, I was talking to an 18-year-old. I think that was the worst. I was 22 talking to an 18-year-old. That was probably the worst I've done, I think. That's about it. I think that's about it. I think that's the worst. There's a strength weapon you want to use? I probably do have a better strength weapon. I'm just not using it. Ha! Anyways. Boom. Health back. What game is this? Dark Souls 2. Now then. That's never a bad thing. People think it is. Even for a bit, so. What's up, Nikki? Appreciate you. No, I'm pretty lax with most things. All right, now then. Back to me talking about the mechanics of this game. Anyways, now that we've beaten the Ruined Sentinels, we can go ahead and go into the Lost Center. That's the important part there. Lost Center shouldn't be that difficult to get to. Pretty easy, efficient area to get to in the game. I think this game does a pretty good job at not directing the player on where to go. I have never in my life been so confused about where to go next. I do not grasp it. I do not understand at all. I think it's super dumb. I think it's the dumbest thing on the planet. I think it's the worst way. The way this game directs you is evil. It almost forces you to get lost. And yeah, you want to get lost in the world and things of that variety. I think they knew the game design was bad, and that's why they had the ability to. That's just an asshole move. And they had the ability to. They destroy all over there. Worst enemies in the game. They had the ability to teleport from the bonfire in the beginning. That's what I feel. Let's see here. Look at them go. Go crazy on me. Now, this is also very important. I do not recall if this was a purely Scholar of the First Sin edition thing, but there is a bonfire up here that was blocked by a fragrant branch of yore. I'm pretty sure that in this game, it is also that very same bonfire blocked by a fragrant branch of yore. And I think that is interesting because that guy, I'm pretty sure, does boss weapons. Pretty sure the guy does boss weapons. I do not recall, but I'm going to check. I think it's important. This game does have better diversity. I think it has better diversity because the game genuinely doesn't care about its areas. It doesn't care about the cohesion of the areas. And I like that. Correct. He's right here. So you need a fragrant branch to get this bonfire. I think this is cool. I like that. Sometimes. It's me, the one and only. As the kid ate, I believe I posted an update in the pinned comment to that video. You can go ahead and do that. That was worth it. I deserve that. I deserve every hit of that. I tell you that much. Playing this game feels interesting overall. It feels like a very interesting experience. And I will give it credit for making me feel deeply interested. Been a minute since I failed a backstab. It feels experimental, if I could put a phrase to it. This game feels very experimental. There's a mental gymnastics I have to do for the game when I play it. Because the game in itself feels like it's experimenting with itself. And I think that's cute. I think a game that takes risk is smart. I think this game lays out a lot of stuff. It got a lot of stuff wrong, and it got a few things right. And things it got right was transferred to other games and put into the series. I think they vastly corrected everything in Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is what I feel Dark Souls 2 should have been. That's how I feel. Everybody always says that. Everybody always says that, right? Everyone always says that. That Miyazaki didn't have a lot to do with it. But I don't care because it is using the name Souls. Is why I don't care. In the original run of this, when I did this the first time, those enemies were non-existent. Those amalgamates, or whatever they're at, those enemies were non-existent. Not having iframes when opening stuff, horrible decision. I think that's dumb. All right, I can do this. They're not gonna make it. I like that they're slow. I appreciate that. I feel like this game was pretty well designed for the specific areas for what it has. I feel like there wasn't a big issue there. I feel like there wasn't. People often complain about this boss a lot. People say this boss is extremely difficult. I don't think I have a single issue with basically any of the bosses. I think the bosses are pretty fine overall. I have an issue with everything else surrounding the game. This is really where you gotta learn how to dodge and mechanics of the game. This is really where you gotta level your adaptability and discover if you actually are having good adaptability with the game. This is it. This is where you discover. This is where boys become men, essentially. This is where it's at. This is it. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Look at that speed. I don't get how people have issues with this boss is the real question. I really never understood it. I didn't have an issue with Scholar of the First Sin, nor this edition. I've never understood why people have deep issues with this boss. Maybe it's the reach of the weapon. I know the hitboxes are disgustingly jank. I know that. Especially if you don't stay close to the enemy. Like right there, that was a weirdo hitbox. That was strange. You could say I rolled late, but I still think the hitbox in itself is dumb. I prefer more accurate hitboxes as opposed to the weapon. I'm dead. I'm dead. That was on me. I got too greedy. That's an issue with me managing my stamina. That has nothing to do with the game right there. That is a true issue with me managing my stamina and not doing everything correctly. That's completely my fault on that loss right there. I will accept that 100 times over. I want to point this out, though. I want you to know, when I was playing Scholar of the First Sin, when I was streaming it, I got significantly more irritated playing that game. Significantly angrier. Because I was losing to things that felt like they weren't my fault. When I lose to something that feels like it's not my fault, it scares me. Ugh. Hold on. It makes me angry. Got a notification. Hold on. There we go. Losing to something that's not your fault it feels the same as when you get punished for when your parents come into the room and you're not doing anything bad, but your siblings did something bad, and now you're getting punished for your siblings. That's what it feels like about that pixelated communications. Change anything until Bloodborne. Bloodborne was a whole different thing. Bloodborne was an entirely different experience overall. It was such a odd little experience. It's very strange. Now then, we're good here. Now that we can just kind of rush through. We actually don't have to fight all the people. Despite the fact that they're definitely going to try to explode on me. They're definitely going to try to explode. I can feel it. I feel it in my soul. They're going to try to explode. Yep. See that? That's good. That's good. Now then. Pretty sure I can beat the boss this time. I messed up last time because I was being a bit goofy. That was on me. That was on me. Hey, I'm back. Need my souls, please. Thank you. 7,000 is pretty good. I think that's about 3 levels, maybe? Don't remember. It does cost a lot less to level up souls in this game. Boom. 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 Look at him go. Look. Boom. Feels like stamina recovers significantly slower in this. I don't know why. That's just me, though. Maybe I'm dumb. I could be dumb. Maybe I need the Chloranthium. But this boss is not extremely difficult boss. Most bosses takes me about 2 attempts, I believe. Around 2. I'm rocking at about 2 attempts on most bosses, I believe. Oop. Oop. Give me that. Thank you. Alright. Enjoy. Please be well. I feel like there's a pizza kill one. You must have came recently. Happy you're here though. Now, this is also a big issue I have, besides the slow opening animation of these ridiculous doors. And if I try to roll through it, someone said you can just roll through the doors. If you roll too early, if you roll too early, you don't get to roll through a door. At least for the smaller ones, you just stop the door opening animation. I got a frigate branch you are nice. That's important. I'm not gonna use that on the boss weapon soul guy. So I got that achievement. Nice. The primal bonfire was rekindled. Love to see it. This is stupid. Crunchy peanut butter. This is stupid for me because I hate that it just gets you back to here. I think that's stupid. I like the continuous flow of going through and finding new safe havens and bonfires. That's what I enjoy. I didn't like that in Demon Souls, and I don't like it in this one. Tell you that much. Not a huge fan. Is that where I need my adaptability? Insane. Alright. So that was one area. Got that out the way and done. I could go up. Now it would take me over through the Fragrant Branch of your area. Or I could go to No Man's Wharf. A lot of choices here. A lot of choices. Let me go ahead and let's see. Large Titanite shard. I could buy large Titanite shards from McDuff. McDuff is a good thing. I do want to fight the Flexile Sentry as well, but I don't remember how to get to the area. That's on me. That's on me not remembering. So when something like this happens, you can it becomes where the game almost refuses to direct you in certain areas. I could go through and fight the Dukes de Freya. Dukes de Freya is a pretty good contender for the next primal, because that would just take me to Huntsman's Cost. Huntsman's Cost, and then Dukes de Freya, and then that would take me there. I could go to Heide's Tower of Flame, then go to No Man's Wharf, and that would take me back and loop back through to go to the Lost Bastille. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back here, go to the tower part. I'm gonna buy a firebomb. I'm gonna buy a firebomb, and then do that. I'm gonna sneeze, and then that's what I'm gonna do. So, thank you. This game doesn't direct you that well. And that's also a big thing I have here. I have no issues with this game. I really don't. My issues are with how the game doesn't respect you. I feel like the game doesn't respect you or your time or anything of that sort. I just feel like it doesn't. And it feels stupid to say a game doesn't respect you. It feels very dumb of me to say that. But I have no other way to describe it other than the game just not respecting you as a player is how I feel about the game. Because that's generally what it feels like. It feels like the game is actively telling you that, hey, you're going to suffer. As opposed to the game having mechanics that aren't difficult, but the more you learn the mechanics, it becomes easier. But instead, it's you have to spend time, the disgusting amount of time, not just on the mechanics, but the actual world in itself. You have to waste time on every aspect of it. I'm probably not saying this as elegantly as I mean it, but there's a blatant disrespect to the game, a sheer blatant disrespect to how the game operates and how it functions, and I hate that. I wish it didn't do that. I wish that the game had confidence. The game doesn't have confidence in itself, it feels. I feel like this is a very non-confident game. It doesn't feel like it has it all figured out, is what the game feels like. It could just be me. I could just be saying words or feeling stupid about it. But I feel like the game genuinely doesn't have the go-getter attitude that it should. The game just doesn't have that. As if the game is relying on the name Dark Souls, is a way I could phrase it. The game feels like, because it's Dark Souls, it knows people will play it. And that is almost disrespectful to the quality that the Souls titles bring, as opposed to anything else. It feels somehow like a facsimile of the game. If I could phrase it that way. And I don't like when games feel like a copy of themselves, a clone of their own franchise. And I know everybody's gonna say Miyazaki didn't work on it. It was the B team. It was all this jazz. They didn't make a bad game. That's the issue. The biggest issue is that they didn't make a bad game. They made a game that had to follow a great game. So if you make a good game after a great game, you're going to always be compared to that. And they probably should have taken that into consideration when establishing this game overall. They should have actively taken that into consideration when they made the game. But they didn't. They didn't take that into consideration. What they did was they said, oh, it's okay. We are fine because we're Dark Souls. And they made a game they wanted to experiment. This game feels like a passion project, but I don't know for what, is what it feels like. It feels like the game is an accidental passion project. As if somebody else is making the game. As if it was supposed to be made for some other company or some other people or something else. And we're stuck with the fallout of what that passion left us with. And I'm not saying that that is inherently a bad thing, to make a passion project, to have a game that you want to do something creative or different or unique with. But it wouldn't have sold as well if Dark Souls wasn't attached to it. If Dark Souls weren't attached to this, I may respect the game a bit more. I may. But I don't respect it because Dark Souls is attached to it. Because we have a direct comparison of the significantly superior version of a game on the same console generation. That's the worst part. Same console generation, but with minimal improvements to the core base mechanics of everything. And that's almost disrespectful somehow. It's as if the game didn't understand what made Dark Souls amazing. And I'm playing through this, and I'm realizing so much about the game that I can see why people found this fun. I can see why people love this game. I can feel the joy as I play. I can genuinely feel it. What I don't feel throughout the entire game is a Souls game. And that's the biggest disrespect, I think. I don't feel a game that says, this is Dark Souls. I feel a game that says, we put Dark Souls on the title, you should buy it. That's what I've always felt from this game. It's a lack of care, a lack of finesse, a lack of polish, a lack of readiness to admit. Even the fan base of this game doesn't like to admit that. Some of them say it has no flaws at all. And I think that is a defense because a lot of people say the game is, they're overly negative about it. So to combat over negativity, they are overly positive about things in the game that they should not be overly positive about. And I'm doing more so I'm playing this to prove that, yeah, I get the game. I'm not saying I don't get the game. I get it. It's great. And I feel like people, the Scholar First Edition, people thought like, oh, it's not difficult enough. So we make it difficult, we gotta put the Souls title on it. Scholar of the First Sin feels like a deep bastardization of the entire Souls genre. Is what it feels like. Hard for the sake of being hard. Difficult for the sake of being difficult. Ganks and mobs. All this garbage and gobbledygook. It feels that way. Even this boss that I'm fighting right now. This is somehow deeply tied to the design philosophy of the game. This is just a bunch of enemies. This is barely a boss. Barely a boss. That was barely anything. It was nothing. Even if you use an alluring skull in that boss fight, it becomes significantly easier. That wasn't a boss fight. That was showing that we can put enemies in the game. Showing that, hey, we can crowd you. We can put a bunch of garbage in the game. How would that feel? You want a bunch of garbage in the game? And I don't want a bunch of garbage in the game. I don't. I want a game that tells me, without a shadow of a doubt, I care about you. I want you to have a great experience, and I want you to be a part of the experience. But this game always, always is telling me I could be better. All the time. It feels like it hates me. It feels like the game genuinely hates me. And I don't like playing a game that makes me feel like it hates me. It feels like I am being punished for learning the game. I'm being punished by it. I'm wasting stat points by leveling adaptability because I understand that adaptability does that. It's not same across the board. I'm being genuinely attacked. I don't even know how that's possible. It feels dumb to say that too. It feels dumb to say, oh, the game is attacking me. I feel like an idiot. I feel dumb. Alright, she's packing up. That's good. I want the game to respect what I am. And I don't know how. Dark Souls, when I played that one, the first one, it made me feel good for reading. It made me feel good for understanding. It made me feel good for doing that. It didn't force the tutorial area on me. Get off me. This game somehow just deeply forces the tutorial area on me. It adds a lot of real life mechanics to seem quirky and cool for some odd reason. I don't know why that is. But there was no need for it to do any of that. It didn't have to. It's going to get poisoned because I'm just going to get poisoned, I feel. There we go. The game is trying to be something. It's trying everything. And it's accomplishing nothing by trying everything. By doing everything in its power, it has accomplished 0 things. And it's depressing to say that. You know what's crazy? You know what's nuts? I remember this area in Scholar of the First Sin. And I remember specifically there is a lot of enemies. That's kind of funny. That one change made it that way? That's kind of interesting. I remember there were 2 fire witches here last time. I believe there was 2 fire witches here last time. And that felt a little bit excessive. I feel like the slow methodicalness of how the game operated before in the original version that I'm playing right now was better. I feel like it didn't want me to suffer. I felt like it wanted me to take a step back and understand the game. And I felt like I could relax playing it as opposed to being stressed playing it. I don't like games that try to stress me out. And I feel like a lot of games nowadays feel like stressing a player out makes the game better. Making a stressful experience will ensure that people have a better time with the game. It's arbitrary. It feels nuts. Do you know Elden Ring? I have gotten a max level in Elden Ring. I am a big proponent of Elden Ring. I love the game. I myself am a big proponent of Elden Ring. Even these enemies don't feel claustrophobic. The new enemy placement feels psychotic. Oh, Covetous Demon. Forgot about him. This almost isn't a boss fight. This is just stupid. This whole enemy is dumb. The only way to lose this guy is by genuinely not paying attention, is what it is. I forget about this boss all the time. Like all the time. I thought he was gonna whip his tail at me. There he goes. He looks like the Gub Gub Gabgalog? Yeah. He doesn't look like the Gub Gub Gabgalog. This, I don't know why this enemy's here is a big thing. I don't think the boss fights were given much care, if I could put a phrase to it. I think the boss fights were an afterthought. That's what I feel. You got sad and got fat. That's what happened? That's crazy. I do not know if I have a torch. No, I never checked. I'm pretty sure I don't have a torch. I do have a torch. I do have a torch. Thought I didn't for some reason. Sorry, I thought I didn't have a torch. This is stupid. because of the mechanic of. I think this game relies on a lot of pre-setup for bosses, right? And I don't mind pre-setup for bosses. I really don't. If it's conveyed to you in an efficient way. This game does not convey pre-setup for bosses. Now I know some people are gonna comment and say, "Why are you not getting Estus Sharp Flask for your Estus Flask?" I'm gonna say that a lot. I have played this game enough, for some reason, to know that Estus Flask is, I don't know why, not as good as the aspect of using just simply a life gem. Life gem is just better. Just generally better. Oh, I was stuck in that animation. Oh, that's crazy. They stuck me in the animation. That's crazy. Don't even know why they did that. They stuck me in the animation. That's a bit crazy. I think the game relies on its not telling of a story to tell a story for the most part. And that's not a bad method to tell a story. I want to point this out. That's not a bad method to tell a story. I think it's a good method to tell a story. I just think the game, for some odd and reason I can't explain, does not care about your time at all. There's a lot in this game that I love. There's a lot in this game that feels like a team that was dedicated and full of passion made it. There's also a lot in this game that feels like a psychopath was at the helm of it. I've never thought this game was as bad as everyone was saying. I think the issue isn't that people were overly obsessed with finding another Souls game. I think the issue is that people wanted something great and they got something good, is what I feel. Because in no capacity is this a bad game. I can't live by that. I will never say that this is a bad game. But by all means, does it have some really stupid mechanical choices that I feel as though it would be better off without. And it pains me to it pains a lot of people to insult things that they love or insult games they enjoy because they love them, because they enjoy the games, because these games mean a lot to them, because they're a part of them. They're a part of what they are. The games such as this, Dark Souls, and Knockout City, and all the games that are canceled that didn't do that good. Me with Onimusha, I love Onimusha, and I can admit 100 faults with the game. Devil May Cry, I can admit 100 faults with that game. There are ways to go about enjoying a game and being a part of it, a piece of the journey of the game, and still saying, yeah, this game was bad, but I love it. I think if people did that, I think if people just said, hey, I can acknowledge the faults of the game, I can say that it was bad in these areas, but I don't care, I love the game. And that is significantly more admirable than saying this game is a hidden masterpiece or the game has always been fantastic, and that to insult people that enjoy the game is a bit much. I know I was arguing with that guy earlier, but he was saying that the mechanics that I felt were bad were good, and that comes with anything. One experiment that I enjoy doing is if I ever truly enjoy something, I will go read a review of it by people who hate it. If I ever really, really love something, I will go re-review by somebody who hates it in order to have a deeper understanding of how somebody could hate something I love. That has helped me so much accept why people hate the things that I enjoy. And it's fair to do that. I like doing that. So, here goes a super fun thing here. This area has a hidden bonfire behind illusionary walls. Every illusionary wall in this game. Oh, nice. You got them? Cool. Oh, you painted them. They look amazing. You gonna be Patrick Star, yeah? Good. They look outstanding, babe. Every illusionary wall in this game has no way to tell that it is an illusionary wall. I think the way the illusionary walls are in this game is the worst in any Souls game. And if you could roll into them, that would make sense. But you have to click to get to the illusionary walls in this game. Which, I don't know, that feels stupid. I'm happy they didn't add that in any Soul mechanic ever. Why would you have to interact with the wall? And what's crazy is that I'd never think to do that unless someone told me that. I would have never thought to do that unless somebody specifically told me. So for the first playthrough, besides Pharaoh's Lockstones, I didn't use a single, not one, illusionary wall. I didn't find a single one. It was very draining to me that happened. I felt like an idiot. I felt very dumb. I thought they didn't have illusionary walls at all. I said, oh, there's no illusionary walls at all in this game? That's crazy. That's dumb. It just felt stupid. It felt very stupid. I said to myself, wow, I guess there's no illusionary walls. So, what I'm going to do, and because I've proven my point mostly, I wanted to get to Shrine of Amana, but I do want to play other games in this lifetime. And to the person that bought the game for me and everything, he said that just play enough to prove that you're not good. So I mean, prove that I'm good. So I think I've proven that I'm not complete trash at the game and that I understand the mechanics to a fault. So to you, what was his name? Hold on. Fragrant Reticle. To you, Fragrant Reticle, that got me the game and gave $200 to play to prove that I don't suck. I played to prove that I don't suck. You didn't tell me to beat the game. But yeah. So, there's that. I also want to do a run. I just want to do a run. Hold on, let me go back to Majula for a second. I just want to do a run right quick. I'm going to reset the stream, by the way, so I can use this as just the base thing. I'm going to do something really cool here. Do something really cool here. So, I'm going to run to the old Iron King. I'm going to run to him. Just going to run to him. Thank you so much. I'm going to run to the old Iron King. One more, so I'm going to run to the Smolder Demon. Last time I made this run, I was invaded constantly. There was a bunch of stuff going on. It was a little bit ridiculous. My favorite RPG is Onimusha. Two guys right here. This is before I even get in. Just gonna run back a little bit. I think this is a healthy difficulty increase. You see how they go back and don't chase me to the ends of the earth? Because they have an aggro range? I respect that. I respect having an aggro range. Because it feels better to have some aggro range as opposed to having some arbitrary metric of chasing me to the ends of the earth. These guys have an aggro range. And that feels better. You know what I mean? It just feels better. So there's a guy here, guy there, and there used to be an archer up there, but I don't think he exists anymore. There used to be an archer up there. There are a lot of these lone knights. But it makes sense that they're there. And by this point in the game, you should have much more than I have right now. You should just have more. You should just have more. I just want to point out, you should just have more things on you. But I want to point this out. Notice how I ran past all those guys and they're walking back. See that? You see that? Want to know how I knew that? Because for some odd, disgusting, undescribable reason that I never could properly understand, I never will get this, Scholar of the First Sin thinks that improved enemy mechanic means increasing aggro range. And so does everybody that defends that game. It's much better. There's better enemy placement. It's better. It's different. Appreciate you. We're gonna play Poke Rogue soon, so you're missing out on Poke Rogue. Last time there were 2 of these guys. Now then. Alright. Here is this. Boom. Boom. Look at him go. I don't think we'll beat him because I didn't upgrade my weapons or anything like that. I also am very under-leveled right now. I just am under-leveled right now. And I don't have enough life gems or nothing. And this boss strictly relies on using either life gems or Estus. My thought process is that it relies on purely life gems because he gets more inflamed as it goes on. And he stabs himself. Yeah, and you lose health the closer you are to him. So that's really my thought process about this fight. Not a bad fight though. Not a bad fight. I don't hate it. Will you play Luigi's Mansion in October? I'll consider it. I don't like Luigi's Mansion. He gets more hopped up and he's gonna expand and explode. I think he explodes right here. At one point he exploded. I feel like he exploded on me one time. Crazy sentence to say, yeah. Well, this fight, it's not even about patience. So, we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna reset all my streams for Pokemon. I just want to prove that I do like Dark Souls 2, but I don't like the other Jubal Cop.